All right, Saagar, what are you looking at?
Well, while it's certainly a downside to live in interesting times, one of the more exciting things about the last few years is the feeling that just anything is possible. I especially felt that way when Trump was elected in 2016, against all odds. I felt that way as I watched millions of people pick up and move in the middle of the pandemic. I feel it now. People are asking questions, making decisions they never would have dreamed of before, out of fear of not doing, quote, what you're supposed to do. College attendance has, for years now, been in the category of what you're supposed to do. Millions of Americans a generation ago who never would have considered college decided to go, even if they didn't have the money or even if they didn't have a clear idea of what they wanted to do. They spent tens of thousands of dollars. They went into debt on average, and in many cases, they did not see the once promised wage premium. By and large, despite decades of the same behavior and an entire generation of people who were going broke, this trend still continued, right up until COVID, when suddenly a few things became very clear. One, schools really were not charging you for the quote-unquote college experience. They not only did not cut tuition, but actually raised it during literal Zoom school from home, showing that the only thing you're paying for is that credential. Two, despite the fact that demand remained relatively stable, an entire generation of young men just decided, you know what, screw this. The number of new young males entering college dropped dramatically in 2021, even as campuses reopened, and they put us on track for a troubling trend. Sometime in the near future, women will outnumber men on college campus, and not only that, but outnumber them 2 to 1. Given the way that our current higher elite is largely composed of the college educated, it will mean a dramatic misalignment of women and men and will have profound social effects on our dating culture and future marriage rates. Despite all of this data on collapsing male interest in college, elites have refused to stop their tune. They still insist student debt cancellation is the only answer, not holding the colleges criminally liable for lying to people. They still insist our broader culture doesn't have a bias against men, especially at the higher elite circles, and they continue to insist a college degree is the only way to get ahead in this country. Unfortunately for them, men are just not listening to them anymore. College enrollment rates for high school graduates between the ages of 16 and 24 dropped a stunning 4% overall in the last 4 years, new Labor Department data reveals. Unsurprisingly, this coincided with the lowest teenage unemployment rate in 70 years. On record, a massive increase in wages paid in the hospitality sector and across the lower skilled economy. The tight labor market has made college a worse trade than ever for millions of people, especially men. This puts the current college enrollment rate at a place it has not been at for more than 2 decades. The vast majority of this decline is attributed to male matriculation. Female college matriculation remains at 66%. The male college rate is 10% lower. It is not like these guys are just sitting on the couch either. Many of them have taken up apprenticeships, which are up 50% or more year over year. They're filling the huge shortage of roles that we have in trades and skilled labor positions across the economy. Now, across the board, the entire U.S. population is losing faith in college, too. Only 52% of respondents in a recent Wall Street Journal poll said college was worth the cost, and a record 56% said it's not. Again, the male-female differential here is worth noting. Men are much more likely than women to say college is not worth it, and express delight at the ability to make a better wage than before, whether having to go to the trouble of going to college. Make no mistake, on a long enough timeline, this is going to dramatically reshape the face of America. College is not just about education. More and more, it's really about ideology and lifestyle. Whether you have a 4-year college degree or not is the best single approximator today for how you vote. If you attended college, you are likely a Democratic voter, and vice versa. Of course, there are many important exceptions, and I am talking about averages, but the point remains clear. If you went to college, you are much more likely to have very different cultural tastes than if you did not, including, but not limited to, the type of music you like, the TV shows you watch, where you go on vacation, where you shop for groceries, what you consider a societal problem, whether you know anyone in the military, so many things like this. If you don't go to college, you will be very different in your preferences and your desires in almost every single one of those categories. Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. No, as long as both sides are not trying to police the other. But the issue is what happens when those separate dramatically by gender and class lines. We already have lots of data to show that the mismatch between men and women in college is having a huge effect already on the potential dating pool, for college graduate females especially. It is leading to a major loneliness crisis for a number of men who are having very, very hard times finding a female mate. Young female depression gets all the headlines, but as I've laid out here before, it's really young men who are in crisis. Young men commit suicide at 4 times the rate of young women. They make up 80% of all suicide deaths of male versus female. Furthermore, young men who remain single for prolonged periods of their life suffer worse health outcomes, they achieve lower wages, they report lower life satisfaction. Generally, they are not thriving. Structurally, you're in a tough place right now. Men understand that they are mostly not wanted at college or that it is not a good deal for them. But the working class wages that they are seeking are not high enough in the long run or show enough promise to actually set them up for middle class or upper middle class life in the future. Thus, they remain in this odd middle ground gray area. They're not thriving enough to attract many women who are themselves college graduates, who also find themselves lonely and miserable. What you need is a total reset of this whole system. The college education expectation needs to drop. Our working class wages need to rise even more than they currently have. Trades need to be seen in the same level that we see a bachelor's of accounting, for example. And the entire idea of what you should be doing needs to be redefined in every high school in the country. Until that time, unfortunately, we are in for it socially, despite how predictable the doom spiral of all of this really is. We cover a lot of this stuff here.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.